Number 4 Ohio State was not the latest title contender to fall victim to a weeknight road game. The Buckeyes cruised to an easy victory in Evanston Friday night, crushing Northwestern 52-3. Things seemed a bit iffy early in the game as Northwestern's defense showed signs of being able to frustrate Justin Fields and the Buckeyes' offense. Well, for a few minutes, anyway. Ohio State scored a touchdown on its opening drive to take a 7-0 lead but would have to punt on its next two possessions, and Northwestern managed a field goal to cut the deficit to 7-3 after the first 15 minutes. Shortly after that, all dreams of a competitive, exciting game quickly dissipated. The Buckeyes turned on the afterburners in the second quarter, torching Northwestern for 24 points to take a 31-3 lead at halftime, and they just cruised from there. Fields had another terrific performance, finishing with just 194 yards passing but tossing 4 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins continued having an excellent season, rushing for 121 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns, including a receiving score. On the defensive side of the ball, the Buckeyes dominated as well, holding the Northwestern offense to 199 yards of offense. The Buckeyes even dominated on special teams. Kicker Blake Hobell drilled a career-high 55-yard field goal to end the first half, and punter Drew Chrisman dropped bombs with his right foot, averaging 47.4 yards per punt on his 5 attempts. It was another thoroughly dominating performance from a team that's done nothing but dominate every team it's faced so far. Here are 3 takeaways from the game. 1. This game provided another sign of why the Buckeyes are a true title threat. How many times have we seen Ohio State take its foot off the gas in recent seasons? Last year, it was a night game at Purdue that saw the Buckeyes fall and blow their playoff chances. The odds of Northwestern pulling off a similar upset in this game were slim to none, but a Friday night game on the road can be tricky for anybody. Plus, Northwestern was the only team in the country that has made Wisconsin look mortal so far this year. So there was a chance that Ohio State might have found itself struggling against the Wildcats, but it didn't. The Buckeyes scored on their first possession, and after a minor hiccup, they dominated this game for nearly all 60 minutes. And they did all this with a huge showdown against Wisconsin looming next week. If ever there was a chance for the Buckeyes to get caught looking past an opponent into next week, surely this Northwestern team was the one to overlook. They didn't, though. They dominated, and that is the kind of mentality you see from a team capable of winning a national title. Beating Northwestern will mean nothing when it comes to comparing resumes later in the year, but the way the Buckeyes went about doing it makes me even more confident in their ability to reach the college football playoff. 2. I do have one minor beef with Ryan Day's approach. Ironically enough, this is likely connected to what I just wrote about, but I'm not sure why Day left his starters in for so long. It's not a new phenomenon, either. This has been the case a few times this season, and considering the bigger picture and what's at stake for the Buckeyes, I don't think it would hurt Day to have a quicker hook. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I don't want to see Fields, Dobbins and other key players taking or delivering hits when I'm up 35 points against a team that hasn't scored more than 30 points in a game all season. 3. Northwestern's offense remains difficult to watch. Northwestern fans have been calling for offensive coordinator Mick McCall's head this season. They've called for it in previous seasons as well. To this point, Pat Fitzgerald has refused to give the fans the head they want. I admire his dedication to his assistants, but something has to change. This Northwestern offense is simply not good enough to compete in the Big Ten. Granted, I'm not sure what changing offensive coordinators right now would do. From what I have seen of this Northwestern offense, it's not just a schematic failure. I don't know if there's an offensive coordinator out there who can magically show up in Evanston and start calling plays that lead to this team scoring 30 points per game. There's a personnel problem here, too. It's an offense with a few interesting pieces. I like Drake Anderson and Isaiah Bowser, but there is a severe lack of playmakers on the perimeter. If Northwestern had some more skill at the receiver position, Mick McCall might look like a better play caller.
He knew it.
Yep. Look at his teammates. That's what I love. Look at the first one out. And then those four have separated themselves, to me, from everybody in college football.
Big hole, and then he sticks his shoulder down, gets a little bit more, does Dobbins. What about this guy?
You talk about Chase Young being the best pass rusher in college football, too.
He anticipates the break on the route from Mack. He's hit him on back-to-back completions and another first down.
That's a
third down and short for the Buckeyes. Back outside they go, and Garrett Wilson has enough for a first down.
Easily moves the chains.
Looking to throw again. Out of a tight pocket. He's got a wide open Mack. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Touchdown.
From 23 yards, and they waste no time getting in the end zone to open the second half.
And just making this game look so easy. It starts with some of that protection as well. Look at the space for Fields in that pocket. Zone coverage. It's right over the top of Bergen, the nickel back, the corner. You could see him. He's got to cheat on the inside vertical. And you just can't throw it any better than that. Fourth touchdown now on the night, 32 on the...
Did that hand a few weeks ago and playing through it with a cast up. Anderson stepped off of the initial hit, but then got planted by Malik Harrison. He did get enough first down. Third and short. Smith surrounded. Going to be close. Sean Wade was there with Tough Borland. And the true freshman's getting an opportunity as they look for some kind of spark offensively. Bowser gives him one here with a big gain to the 40.
Nice job. You want to guess what this coverage is?
Smith will run against it. And not going to get it. What was your answer?
It was man-to-man, and Aiden felt like he was going to be the man to break that cover.
Fields keeps it, has the ball knocked out by Gaziano, but he's able to get it back. Gaziano among the leaders in the country in forced fumbles. Forced one there that Fields was able to pounce on, but it is fourth down.
Yeah, he's one of the rare guys here that's difficult to read because he's so long and powerful. Right, the former power lifter, been so good and gritty for 4 years here at Northwestern. You know he's one of these seniors that is so frustrated by... Watch how square and strong they play.
Smith throws an interception, and it's taken back by Seven Banks for a touchdown. 6 for 7.
This pass is intercepted.
The ruling on the field is an interception. The knee of the intercepting player is down. First and 10.
So this is going to come back, but it still will be a pick for the sophomore from Orlando, Seven Banks. What great concentration on a tipped ball.
You look at both Kayvon Pope, the nickel linebacker, Seven sitting right there. That's the side judge, and there's no window.
Third down and 5. Chugging off, throws the touchdown to Jeremy Rucker. It was wide open.
Well, there's pick plays, and then there's pick plays. This one's going to come right here. And it's not really a pick when it's your own guy. Right? Some friendly fire there, and Greg Newsome. We saw it earlier, right? Running right into the umpire. Right? Take Patty Fisher that just continues to put pressure on you.
Master Teague breaks one loose. There goes Teague, and the freshman in a foot race that he will win. Touchdown, Ohio State. It's a 73-yard run.
Big DeJuan Jones, 6'8", 360 pounds. You can't miss him. He was fun to watch and warm up. And watch him wash down that defensive line. And Master Teague, pretty masterful. Slow to explode through and right behind Mr. Jones. Pretty cool. And look at the big fella.
Huge.
You're trying to block in their sprinter stances. Good luck.
Pressure coming on fourth down. Marty's throw is intercepted by Amir Reap. So a couple of the backups picking up interceptions tonight. Seven Banks and now Reap.
That's a heck of a play from Reap. He comes all the way across the field. Does he get his hands underneath it?
Oh, yeah.
And control it? They can hit the...
First carry tonight, Marcus Crowley. And Crowley's going to turn it into a big gain. Trying to hit his own home run. All the way inside the 35. The true freshman out of Jacksonville.